Yo, what's your boy Ghost here? Today I'm bringing you guys another comparison video between the MP40 and Owen Gun. And I wanted to make this comparison because a week ago they obviously dropped like that huge weapon update where they ended up buffing a ton of weapons, which included the MP40 and Owen Gun, after nerfing them in the Season 3 update, which is still like a very just interesting thing that they decided to do. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, it just confuses me because I just, you just don't expect something like that to happen. But anyways, not only that, but I also been kind of like experimenting with these two weapons. See, normally I have a certain class setup that I use for both guns, and they work one way. But then I decided to finally make the change to a certain attachment, and I just come to the conclusion that with that certain attachment, they feel like completely different weapons, or at least for me, that they like the experience I had with these weapons with the new attachment was just completely different than what I was used to. And hoping to give you guys my experience with them and give you guys better understanding on why I think these two are like the best SMGs, and then we're gonna probably pick which one is better out of the two. But we'll get more into that in the comparison. But before we do get into the comparison, I want to say if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. 102,000. We just hit 1.97K, so now we're about 30 subs away from getting to 2,000, which is crazy to me. I can't even believe it. But obviously, if I get to 2,000, we get the face reveal. So help a brother out. Every sub is greatly appreciated. But with that being said, let's get into the comparison. And here we have the recoil pattern for the MP40, and as you guys can see, nothing too crazy. And I gotta be honest, bro, when I was on console doing the recoil pattern in this specific spot, it just felt so much closer. Now that I'm on 120 FOV, bro, like that is just, it seems so far away because of that FOV. But anyways, man, like I mentioned earlier in this video, this MP40 got buffed a week ago in that update. I don't know why I said it like that. But it also got nerfed in the Season 3 update. The funny thing is the buff literally contradicted the nerf that happened in Season 3. So basically in Season 3, what happened to this weapon was just a simple nerf to the short barrel. What ended up happening last week was that not only did the short barrel get buffed, the bullet velocity got increased by 20%, so did the 317 barrel, which is like the common barrel that I used to use, and then the minimum damage went from 22, or went to 22 from 21. And so this gun basically just like got a good buff after it got a fake nerf. Like, I don't know, man. And that's the one change that I want to talk about that I mentioned also earlier in the video briefly. The one change that made this gun feel completely different to me was the short barrel. I know that doesn't seem like that crazy, but man, like when I was using the MP40 with the normal 317 barrel, like it was hitting, but it wasn't hitting the way I wanted to. It felt like I wasn't doing enough damage, and it just wasn't killing as fast as it used to, and it was letting me down a lot. But this time around, with the short barrel, I was just frying people. And that goes the same for the Owen Gun. Like, once we get to the Owen Gun segment, like, you guys don't understand. But, like, bro, this gun, or both these guns, with the short barrel and the rapid barrel respectively, are just completely different weapons. And they kill so much faster. The one bad thing about it is that you lose your, just range. With the MP40, and, like, in this clip specifically that you just saw, how I just beamed that guy from across, like, doorway to doorway, you really can't do that with the short barrel. It's not impossible, but it's definitely a lot harder now. Same goes with the Owen Gun. Like the Owen Gun and even well gun, because I've seen people use the short barrel or the rapid barrel on the well gun. Like anytime you switch over to the rapid barrel / short barrels, you just lose the range values that you used to have with the other barrels or whatever attachment that you had before the short barrels. And obviously it makes sense. But that's like the one thing that's been kind of a little hard to get adjusted to, because I like to use my SMGs like whatever range. Like if I run, so I like to run out with my SMG, obviously, right, to run faster. And sometimes I get stuck in situations where I can't necessarily pull out my AR, so I kind of have to just wing it with my SMG. And that's where SMGs that have a good range game typically end up helping me, and that's why I always like to have an SMG that can help me at medium range. And that's why I also stay away from using guns like these that are really good for close range but have like no range against whatever. But I mean, sometimes, man, you gotta make an exception, and I'm glad I started to finally reach out to these class setups, because I mean they are hitting way better than the original class setups that I had, and I'm having a lot of fun using both SMGs. Now I have not used the well gun with the short barrel, and I kind of have to, but right now the way these short barrels are set up, bro, like I generally think these two guns are like 1 and 2 short barrel, but that's without me using the well gun. But with that being said, let's just move over to the Owen Gun and some stats to get a better understanding of this comparison. We have the recoil pattern for the Owen Gun. As you guys can see, not too crazy. And to be honest, this is these recoil patterns really don't matter because, like I mentioned, with these rapid barrels / short barrels, like your range game is completely chalked. Obviously, it still somewhat exists, but it's just not worth trying to even battle that far in range because it's just not gonna work out for you. And actually, I just realized too. I looked at my videos, and last week I literally made this exact same comparison. Now, there's a lot of different context to it this week, but you know, I just promise you guys, I'm not trying to milk this like comparison because I do make this comparison quite frequently. Honestly, I could confidently say I probably got 5 to 8 comparisons on these two weapons alone. And I'm not trying to milk it. It's just every time, bro, they always have. I swear, every video that I make has a different context each time. I promise you guys. I'm not doing this just to make them. I'm making them for a specific reason. All right, just you know, trust me on that. But anyways, man, moving over to the first set of stats we're gonna talk about is the fire rate for the Owen gun. You got 500 RPM, and then the MP40 you got a 600 RPM. Now again, this time around I'm actually using pretty much all the fire rate attachments that you could use for both these weapons. And so I don't really know specifically where the RPM stand after that, but they're probably, in terms of, like, I guess, difference, would probably be about the same, like about 100 RPM difference. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But the point is, the MP40 is going to have that fire rate advantage no matter what. That's pretty important, especially because these two guns are close range oriented. That actually leads into the next set of damages, or the first set of damages, I should say, for both of these weapons. For 0 to 11 meters for the MP40, you got 59 damage to the head, 42 to the neck, 36 to the chest, 33 to the stomach, 30 to the upper leg and arm, 27 to the lower leg and arm. For the Owen gun, you got 56 damage to the head, neck, chest, and then 39 damage to the stomach and extremity. So obviously the Owen gun does have a pretty significant advantage in damage. I'm pretty sure though, like the barrels that you use for fire rate, give you a little bit less damage, or maybe the magazine. I don't really know. I think at some point, like, I think one of the attachments that give you more fire rate does give you a little bit less damage. So these statistics are not 100% accurate, I believe. Don't quote me next. I don't really know the cons and pros of all the attachments aside from like the fact that these give you more recoil. So, you know, I apologize for that. But regardless, the Owen gun still has a pretty significant advantage aside from the headshot damage over the MP40. But again, the fire rate does matter a lot. And with the 100 RPM difference, the MP40 still has a chance, although it being out damaged in pretty much every category but the head. But the headshot's where it's going to save you, because 59 damage to the head compared to 56, I mean, it is kind of a no-brainer. And then for the next set of ranges, for 11 to 16 meters for the MP40, you got 47 damage to the head, 33 to the neck, 28 to the chest, 27 to the stomach, 24 to the upper leg and arm, and then 21 to the lower leg and arm. For the Owen gun, 17 to 21 meters, 47 damage to the head, neck, chest, 33 to the stomach and extremities. Now again, this one starts to get a little shaky because with the barrels that I'm using, the range just kind of gets a little bit weird. Medium range, you can still get away with it though, so you know it's not too bad. And I would have to say that honestly, they're both about the same in terms of control. Medium range for me personally, like I don't struggle a lot with controlling recoil. So, but you know, it's definitely noticeable at the longer ranges. Medium range, not too much. You still probably get away with it. Owen gun still has the advantage in damage. The fire rate is, again, the same kind of grace for the MP40. And, yeah, that's really not too crazy there. For the maximum, I guess, set of damages for both these weapons. For 16 meters and above for the MP40, you got 43 damage to the head, 30 to the neck, 26 to the chest, 24 to the stomach, 22 to the upper leg and arm, 19 to the lower leg and arm. For the Owen gun, you got 34 damage to the head, neck, chest, and then 24 to the stomach and the extremity. So this is where the MP40, I think, is the closest in terms of damage to the Owen gun. But again, like with the barrels that you have, it's still a tough matchup because at this point, bro, it's really just going to be about skill and just being able to control the weapon. Because not everyone is going to be able to control the weapon at a certain range with these barrels. They're going to be able to get away with the medium close range, but long range, that's where it kind of is a little dependent on your recoil control. I mean, even then, sometimes I kind of struggle with hitting shots at long range. So I'm not saying you will. I'm just saying be a little careful at long range because it's not as easy as, you know, you're normally used to if you haven't been using these rapid and short barrels. And actually, man, just if you haven't been using these barrels, man, trust me, bro, give it a try, man. I'm not saying you have to use them, but it could change your life completely, bro. Just like how it did for me, bro. Because I have a completely different outlook on these two weapons now that I got these barrels. And again, I haven't tried the well gun, so I can't 100% give you guys my like 100% 1 through 3 rankings in terms of SMGs, and there's still a lot of secondaries that I gotta try out, which is gonna be in the upcoming like days for videos. But for now, in conclusion, I think the Owen gun definitely, like, giving it more fire rate with the damage that it has is really ridiculous. And I'm gonna say that the Owen gun is still better than the MP40. The MP40 though does definitely feel better with this barrel, and I would definitely recommend it to you if you feel like the MP40 is not hitting right. Now that might be able to help change your like experience with it. But again, man, I do think the Owen gun is still the best SMG out of the two. Again, the well gun I have not been able to use. I should have done that, but that one might get put on the back burner. Who knows? But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about both these guns in the comment section down below. Specifically with the rapid and short barrel, not just in general. I just want to know what you guys think about these guns with these barrels. But yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.